I'm recording this. Forgive the voice. I am very sick. I think I might have COVID, but I am recording this months after the video was shot. I wanted to give a bit of a warning. The audio on this video is just unfixable for some reason. It shoots up and shoots down. I've tried to regulate it. I'm not going to spend any more time on it. It's good enough. I just wanted to give you a fair warning going into this that there are a few times where it'll get a little bit louder and a little bit quieter. But overall, I think it is not going to really get in the way of the subject matter. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and please enjoy.
Try to run for no reason or so I'm told. Don't you think I know you're only trying to save yourself? Oh shit. Fucking bang the hell out of that thing. If only it were a lady. Not that great a singer. Gotta get this fucking thing out of here. Oh shit. If I disconnect it, will it... Hold on. Is it working again? Well, I'm gonna have to stop this fucking recording to check it. Hello. Hi. Welcome back. I love saying that shit. Most people seeing this have probably never been here before, or you're my friend, I don't care if you've been here or not, you are my friend, and I love you, and I appreciate you being here. But welcome back to the Rose Show, fuckers. I gotta get a better name than that for people who watch this shit. Fuckers, thanks for being here. Anyway, so I am making a video. I'm sure you saw the video title. This is about Sharon Van Etten, and basically it's an artist appreciation kind of video. So really, I just want to start this off with saying that just kind of my first encounter with Sharon Van Etten. I think it was on The Walking Dead. I don't know if you guys remember that TV show, one of the biggest in the country for the United States. And the song, the very first song that I remember listening to from her was called Serpents. It was on one of the episodes on there. And I had never really watched TV shows before. I had just started getting into them. I was always just a purely movie watcher person, but I got really sick and I was stuck on the couch for a week or two. So I spent all my time there. We had a Netflix subscription, so I checked out Walking Dead, and this one song pops up, and it's called Serpents. It was a close call, sitting in the back of the room with a ball I had thrown at you. Cooking on my like I feel safe at times. Serpents in my mind. I Shazammed it, and it was really good. I listened to it all the time, but not like all the time. It wasn't like an obsessive song. It wasn't a song I like needed to listen to all the time. It was one that just kept coming back in. Basically, Sharon Van Etten was a name I remembered from that song, and even though it started to fade a little bit from my memory, years later, some more of her songs kept coming up and like recommended to me and stuff throughout different apps like Pandora or Spotify. Right now there's like a little bit of a war between people who have the liked songs method of listening to their music or rotating playlists, and I'm definitely the playlist person. Right now I have for the last couple of years I've had a playlist that basically is like just the songs I like right now, and I'll rotate songs in and out of there throughout the year. Usually it will look like a very different playlist from January to January again. It'll have a lot of different things, but sometimes a few make it through the cracks. Some actually do stick around for a year or more, even though most everything else lasts a couple weeks to a few months at most. And Sharon Van Etten had multiple songs that kept sticking around. A few that would make it in and out, but it's not about the competition. It's about the appreciation of her music. So this video here is mostly just me making an appreciation post for her contribution to American culture and life itself. But because of her type of music, see this video as a chance to slow down and breathe a bit with me. I know every video is like high octane, fucking edit, and it's just like, it's too much half the time. Mr. Beast is killing it, but I am not that. So I'm just here to slow down a little bit and appreciate some art in the form of something more audible like music. So yeah, so thanks for being here. You don't have to like or subscribe or anything. If this is not your jam, then that's totally fine. But if it is, I would love to continue to make stuff for you. So I love you. Thanks for being here. Let's get into this chick. So I'm going to be reading off kind of a script. So if you guys see me not looking at the camera, that's probably why, just to catch myself up. So I'm going to jump right into this here. So the first album that she has is Because I Was in Love. Disregarding a few tracks in home recordings, Because I Was in Love seems to very much be an official first album for Sharon Van Etten. This album feels a lot like a first album in the best way, in the sense that it's a lot more simple and lyrically abstract than her other material. The music here clearly shows a lot of her roots as a musician, from which the albums to come would grow from. And the album has like a good indie western type of feel to it. And a lot of the album is guitar based, having a more minimal approach. And in spite of that, she manages to keep the songs varied and interesting. Lyrically speaking, much more than that, is a more POV type of song, singing about a moment she's living through, it seems, while I Wish I Knew seems more like a negotiation she's having with herself and her perceived version of somebody else. We're barely a negotiation, though. It's more like an I throw my hands up moment. It's a softer, minimal album with some songs I didn't expect to love, like the previously mentioned I Wish I Knew. And It's Not Like. Definitely do keep in mind this is the first album on this whole list here, so I'm keeping it pretty short and sweet, but it is still pretty much worth listening to. I wouldn't recommend starting here unless you're really cool with like that western indie kind of vibe. I would say her other music is a bit more of like her core, but you can see how it all starts here. Her second album on the list is Epic. Right off the bat, this album has a bit more of a kick to it with songs like Crime. To say the words I want to say to you would be a lie. And Save Yourself. In D sharp G, she goes a bit more dreamy with it, and it feels like the first entry she's put out that she's let this side of herself come through. The album serves as a real sequel to the first album. It still feels personal, like all of her stuff does, but really takes it up a notch from her first releases. The album is pretty short, having only 7 songs, and it takes about a half hour to listen to it entirely. But overall, it is pretty solid. I don't have much more to say about the album, but don't take that as a reason to skip it by any means. So the third album in this lineup is Tramp. With Tramp, she really goes in and expands on some of the hints that were in her previous songs. And even in just the first 3 songs, there's some definite variety amongst them, going from a grungy swaying song to a more cowboy campfire feel, but then in comes Serpents, if you're paying attention, you know where that came from, with a more indie alternative sound. In this album, she's also sharing some of her vocals with a male voice in the song Magic Chords, which I don't think she's done yet unless it was a collab or something. By this point, she's building up quite the catalog of music, and still I feel the original spirit from her first shining through. From Warsaw to Joke or a Lie. she still keeps that going in this album. Okay, so the fourth album here is Are We There? This is my personal favorite album of hers. There's a few songs in here that snuck their way into my little black heart during some turbulent times for me. Also, I think the album photo is really nice. Good shot. With 11 songs clocking in at 47 minutes, this album has what feels like to me an insane group of her most Sharon Van Etten songs. Every song here feels like a real confident step forward into somewhat new territory, as well as everything that worked before. The songs that make this my favorite album here are Tarifa.
Shut the door. Now in the sun tanning.
You Know Me Well.
Everyone is crazy with their own life lies and existential. You ever wanna find your way out?
And Nothing Will Change.
Maybe something will change. A couple years later when I saw you making Western moves.
Tarifa has a nice swinginess to it, and she brings back her more abstract lyrics, in my opinion. Because to be totally honest, I did not understand what the fuck she was talking about in that song. But that sort of feels like the point. Like it wasn't meant for me too. Like it's a song full of inside memories and jokes, and they're all with somebody else. And maybe they get it. You Know Me Well is sick as hell, and this song has so much going right in it. She really picks words that roll off the tongue to make her statements lyrically here. Also, the general tone of the song feels really heavy and slow, but it's wonderful. Her voice swells with that chorus, and once again, you can really feel her singing passion into her own little creation. Nothing Will Change has an interestingly tame but dazing sound. I love this almost hallucinatory start to the verses, and then this more catchy, harmonious chorus. I don't know where she got the idea to put music like that together, but I think it's amazing. There are 8 other songs on this album to check out if you like, and I, for one, do recommend this album to you outright. So the 5th album is Remind Me Tomorrow. Also, this album almost lost me. I'm here to appreciate the artist, though, so I may not be the biggest fan of theirs and everything that they put out. But the first 3 songs in the album were a bit of a hard change from her usual stuff. She goes way more experimental, in my opinion, on these few songs, and the album in general, for that matter. I Told You Everything, No One's Easy to Love, and Memorial Day are the songs I'm talking about here, and each of them were just a bit too much of an experiment for me to enjoy them. But you should, you shouldn't take my word for it necessarily. They could possibly be something that you would enjoy, and I definitely recommend you go check those things out yourself if you want to see what I'm talking about. I almost passed on the album entirely, going into Comeback Kid, which didn't hook me at first, but I definitely started to get it after this one.
Come back here, come back here, come back here, let me look at you.
Jupiter 4 has a neat little darker pop sound to it that I think can serve as a descriptor for the album as a whole. She took her time with this album and went a bit slow, not being afraid to really experiment with some new sounds, tones, and new ways to really express herself musically.
Baby, 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 I've been searching for you, wanted to be in love. Baby, 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 I've been waiting my whole life for someone like you.
It's not my favorite album of hers, but I've come to appreciate and respect it. I'd recommend most definitely would recommend Comeback Kid, Jupiter 4, and Stay from this album if you're going to go check it out. So the 6th album is We've Been Going About This All Wrong. It's the title of the album, not the fucking video.
I'm never gonna
So we start with a soft and beautiful song called Darkness Fades. Already I can feel a familiar tone, yet something stronger about it. She really lets her voice carry the song, and I think it sounds wonderful. There's some real variety here in this album too. I'll Try has a really nice indie pop thing going for it. She has some 80s synth sounds accompanying an already great foundation to the song, which I think goes to show how much her experiments paid off in her last album. Anything is a short but really emotional hit to the soul. Born is like she takes on a voyage through time and space, and her vocals show off here the best. Darkish feels like we went back in time to 2009, or in your case, a couple minutes ago, to her first album. And, you know, it feels like she genuinely made a song for that album here. And she could make another Because I Was in Love if she wanted to, even several albums later into her career.
And what you have to hold is what you wanted.
There's so much to love here in this album. It's almost my favorite, and it's most certainly Sharon Van Etten's strongest album to date, and her most recent, I believe, as of 2024. And a great spot to end off for this video. There's other songs she's made in collaboration with other artists, like Lemon with Local Natives.
Across above the freeway, holy neon light, everybody crawling for.
Some great singles like what she just put out this year in 2024, Every Time the Sun Comes Up. And some artists have also covered some of her songs, like Fiona Apple's version of Love More or Lucinda Williams' cover of Save Yourself. Basically, in closing, there's honestly a lot more to say, and as you can tell, I'm still reading the end of the script here, but this is coming from the heart, really, even though it's typed out. But there is a lot more to say. I think I overall about summed up what I wanted to talk about from Sharon Van Etten's music. She's got a lot of great music, and I look forward to anything else she creates or cares to release. Her music is always going to have a nice and familiar place in my life, and I hope I've been able to bring some of her magic into yours. I made a playlist for this video on Spotify that has 36 songs on it that I think really capture her essence as an artist. Some songs are made by other artists, but I think they fit right in there with her. But that's all for today. This has been The Row Show. I'll always love you and take care. And be on the lookout for anything else I post up. It's not always going to be this format. This is just an artist appreciation kind of thing. But sometimes I just do talks as well as doing things like this, like in a more review format. I really want to keep this pretty authentic. So it'll just kind of be a little less organized than like a company-backed YouTube channel. But I think it is always nice to bring your own flavor to things if you're actually going to put stuff out. And that's something I've really loved about people recently getting onto YouTube and Instagram and other stuff. So it's always good to be a part of that. And thank you guys for being a part of this. Like I said earlier, this is The Row Show. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Unless you hate this shit, then.